What is up, YouTube? Case Most Prime here, back at you with yet another video. I know it's been a while since I've done one of this, but I'm going to do a review. Specifically a review of a television show. I've never talked about this show or this character on my channel before. It sort of came and went really quick. I discovered this character back in 2015, I think it was, when I first discovered this character. She had a cool theme song, fell off the map. Several years later, Netflix comes out with a reboot cartoon. I binged the first season in a day with the girlfriend, and we fall in love with the character all over again. Who am I talking about? I am talking about the double-dealing diva, the Miss of Misdemeanor, the Lady in Red, Carmen Sandiego. To a lot of 80s and 90s babies, rejoice. Our favorite brunette, red-wearing thief is at it again. But they've sort of changed things up. Now, I'm going to say this off the bat, major spoilers ahead. If you haven't binged Season 1 yet, I would suggest you do so before you watch this video. But if you're still sticking around, let's get started. The series follows Carmen Sandiego, her white hat partner player, who's stationed in Ontario, and her two comrades, Zach and Ivy, as they travel across the globe, securing valuables. But they've sort of changed things up with Carmen. If you remember from the old TV shows and cartoons and computer games from the 80s and 90s, you'll remember that Carmen was the leader of a criminal empire that prided on thievery. But now she's an independent, and she's become kind of an anti-hero, where she steals just to steal from other thieves. You remember that Julia says in the trailer, what if Carmen Sandiego is a thief who only steals from other thieves? Well, that's her MO. She steals items so the people who are trying to steal them for themselves can't steal them. She's kind of a reverse Robin Hood, in a sense. The show ran for 9 episodes, at least the first season. And there's been talks that they would do a live-action movie as well, which have been into talks long before the series actually came to be. For the longest time, Jennifer Lopez or Sandra Bullock were the frontrunners to play the role of Carmen. But that fell through in favor of Gina Rodriguez, who voices the character in the cartoon. And for the first time ever in the franchise history, they actually show a little bit of Carmen's backstory. In fact, the first 2 episodes of the series strictly talk about Carmen's history. Her upbringing, where she's from, why she became a thief, all that. She went to a school for thieves, called Vile. Villainous imports, lavish exports. I forget what it actually does stand for other than that. Villainous imports, lavish exports is a cover name, but I forget what it actually stands for. I'm not going to go look it up. But, yeah. Like, Coach Brunt is like a mother to Carmen, or under her old code name, Black Sheep. She kind of got her code name early because she was found on the side of a road in Argentina and raised by a rotating staff of nurses where she learned a whole bunch of different languages and lifestyles and cultures. I mean, because this is educational, it is for children to learn about other cultures in life. So yeah. We've learned about her backstory for the first 2 episodes, and we finally figure out how she came up with the name Carmen Sandiego. At the end of the 2nd episode, she is escaping Vile in an outfit very similar to the one that Carmen wore in the 80s and 90s. Red coat, big red hat, yellow band around it. In the Netflix series, it's black. And she escapes, and also high heel shoes. And player asks what her name is, and she doesn't really have a name. She looks at the label inside of the hat, where there's the name Carmen, and it says the maker that has in Sandiego, so she sort of mashes that into a name. And the rest of the series kind of follows her as she travels across the globe, securing valuables from Vile before they can steal them for themselves, and dispatching several operatives to try to fight her. But there's kind of a plot twist at the end. Like I said, if you don't want to be spoiled, I strongly suggest you tune this video out. But shockingly enough, there was a reason why she never graduated from Vile. It's because of Shadow-san, the samurai teacher. He was afraid of Carmen's future, of her becoming a thief. So he intentionally failed her with the hopes of her abandoning the school. And he sort of betrays Vile to help Carmen in her pursuit. In fact, the very last scene of the episode is Shadow-san giving Carmen another hard drive of information, so that way she can keep traveling across the world and, stopping thievery. The whole season ends on a cliffhanger. It really sets the page for a second season. Yeah. There's just one problem, though. I know there's been a lot of talk of the series being renewed for a second season, but the CEO of Netflix was interviewed about it, and he said, nope, it's canceled. They just haven't broken the news yet to the studio, who does the animation for Carmen Sandiego, or Gina Rodriguez. They're not even going to do the live-action movie. They've pulled the plug on it. The reason is because of low viewer numbers. The book they published, Who in the World is Carmen Sandiego, has been selling very low numbers. Granted, not as bad as Brian Griffin's Faster Than the Speed of Love. And also just a general unfamiliarity with the character. Like, Gina Rodriguez, before the show came out, went on this huge press tour to try to promote the show in hopes that kids will watch it. She did all that work for nothing, because not enough people recognize the character or watch the cartoon. So that's why Netflix decided to pull the plug on it. Which really does upset me, because I thought that was going to be a really, really cool cartoon. I was really looking forward to a second season of the live-action movie. I was really curious to see how they would portray Carmen Sandiego in live-action, and also see who they get to play Inspector Chase Davenant and Judy Argent in live-action, or the Acme Senior Agent, who is an homage to the character from the old game show from the 90s and 80s. The one who was... her actress was also in The Warriors from 1979, who died a few years ago. She probably would have come back to the role if she was still alive. But I just hate how it ended on a cliffhanger. Shadow-san gives her the hard drive with a whole more bunch of information on it that she can use, and we'll never see what happens from there. It's over. It's canceled. It really does suck. I mean, Gina Rodriguez herself has not commented on this, other than she is very disappointed that the series has gotten the plug pulled. So, I can only imagine how upset she's going to be if she can't play the character in live action. But we'll see what happens. It was very short-lived, this cartoon. It was only... I heard about it in late January. Actually, February I heard about it. I watched the first episode when I got back from Disney. But then my girlfriend and I binged it in a day. Like a whole day we binge-watched the first season. And we fell in love with it. We were really having theories about things. But we were really sad to find out they pulled the plug. If you really grew up with the old cartoon, the video games, and the game show, then yeah, check the series out. But if you hate TV shows that are canceled before they can even get started, or like when they get really interesting, then maybe pass on this one. I guess that's about it. Later, guys. I am out of here.